Hey everybody, how's it going? Superfiend here, and welcome back to Planet Coaster Whacky World. So, last episode we added these ominous looking skulls at the top of our mountain here for the hidden temple. This episode, I think it's time. We're going to put a roof on this thing, and then we're going to try to decorate in here. I think that's what we need to do. So let's go ahead and get her done. We're going to open this up, and we need the sandstone. Not the walls. The flat roof is the piece I'm looking for. And real easy. We'll just do 4 at a time. And we'll turn it into a block. Okay. And then we'll take 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. Take that one away, and then we'll duplicate those two. That way it doesn't do anything silly to us. Okay, so we got to poke a couple more holes in here. You know, I don't know if the coaster car is going to be able to make it through this. How tall is it? We may have to... Okay, here we go. Let's take this one and let's split it from the building. It's its own building now. Okay. And we've all seen this before. We know what we're doing here. Let's see. Kind of do that. Lower it down just a little bit. We'll go back in here. We'll take this one. We'll split him from the building. And we'll do the same thing. He'll get the same treatment. And we'll lower him down as well. Okay. We'll duplicate this. Okay. Actually, you know, this one, whoa. This one, I think we can go up and get right in the middle there. Now, if we zoom out, are we going to get a bunch of weirdness? Not really. So, I think this will be okay. I think it can fit through there, no problem. I do feel, though, like we could use one more piece over here. Maybe about like that. Now, let's go over here. And we're going to do the same thing in here. Except, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this one away. And we'll take this one away. And we'll start with these ones. Okay. So let's split from building. And we'll kind of open it up a little wider here. Go down just a tiny bit. Go back into here. Split this one from the building. Maybe move it a little bit less. Okay. Take this one, split from building. Okay, and we'll take this one, split from building. And do we need to do these other ones? I think we got room. Kind of do. I think this could go a little bit more this way. And so could this one. And we just want to make sure it's nice and wide so that the coaster car doesn't do anything weird as it comes through here. And then we could duplicate this one, bring it up this way. Kind of put it here in the middle. See if we can get a halfway point in here. That'll look pretty good. And now we'll come over this way. So, you know, I think it could fit through there. I think that'll work. Now, the other thing I want to do is... You know, I don't want this to just be flat up here. I kind of want... oh, we got to do this one. Hold on. Moving too quick. Let's see. Let's split this one from the building. And we'll go down just a little bit. And we'll go back. That'll be good for there. We'll do this one. Split from building. Down just a little bit. You can go this way. Maybe like that. Let's do both of these. Split from building. Move them down. Move them over. And let's see, we'll take that one. Split him from the building. And let's see. Oh, I think right there is good. I think that one is good. I think we want to take this, duplicate, get one kind of right in the middle. We'll lift it up just a little bit. Because let's see, they're going to come through this way. So this is where they could stick their arm out the side and lose an arm. So we want to push these ones back in a little bit. Nope, make sure they got room. And back here, I don't think they can really reach that. So let's see if we... Does that work? Okay, we kind of have to watch the coaster car go through it, right? Let's get the coaster car moving. Speed her up. Here they come. Whoa. Alright, so they look like they got quite a bit of... You know what would be a cool feature? Now that I think about it, it'd be really nice if you could like go into a coaster car, a slider, and then just like move the coaster car along the track. That would be a neat feature. I think I'm going to recommend that to Frontier somehow, some way. All right, let's see. Now let's do this one. Anybody going to lose an arm in here? See, like imagine if you could just click on, go into Edit Ride, click on the coaster car, and just drag the coaster train along the station to make sure that you have proper clearance all over the place when you're doing stuff like this. I think that would be really cool. I don't know if anybody's suggested that. I don't think I've ever read that suggestion. Okay. And so these ones are good. And, we got to make sure that they're, I'm pretty sure they're still going to be okay coming out of that. I don't think there'll be any problems there. And... Is that really... Oh, we got this one too. Okay. Let's see what it looks like as they come through. Well, let's see what it looks like. We want to see what it looks like here, and we want to see what it looks like in here too. Man, that thing is hauling ass in there. Oh, that's going to be fun. Oh my god. I have so many wonderful things to say about the camera. Okay. Let's see. What's this look like? I don't think anybody has arms long enough to touch that thing. Spin her around here. Yeah, I think we got plenty of clearance all throughout. So let's see if we can get over here before they come out of there. Yeah, like, unless your individual arm is as long as your entire body, I think they're okay coming through. Well, I don't know. Right here, ooh, look at that. You could definitely... It's clipping. Okay, we got to fix that. You could definitely stick your arm out and lose it over here, so we don't want that. And I think an NBA player could still get it, so... Okay, there we go. That's as much as I'm going to make that safe. Okay. Because they're not real people anyways. Okay, so I think we're looking good. Let's go ahead and close it so that we don't have to listen to it and try to narrate at the same time. And now what I want to do is, I don't want this to just be like this flat building. I think that's really kind of dull and boring. So what I think I want to do instead is I want to get the terrain over this thing. So we need to, I guess flatten the foundation would be the best one to use. And okay, so we'll just, you know what, we're just going to flatten the foundation. We'll just kind of get it coming through here. I'm not going to flatten over there. I'll join it up with the push and the pull tool. Okay, but I do want this thing to just kind of be enclosed. Now, what the hell did it just do down here? What did it just do? Let's undo. Okay. It dropped off and it fell in here, and I don't know what, you know, if it screwed up the inside at all. So let's see. Let's get all this. Okay. And let's go over here. Now, I'm not quite sure how to make all of this look nice. You know, it's like there's this building. You got this building, and there's like just flat terrain on top of it, and it looks kind of stupid. I'll try to do something to clean it up at some point, but I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to be able to do it. But we'll do our best. But I really, you know, I want this temple to look like it was, you know, carved into the mountain, into the cliffside, whatever you want to call it. I don't want it to look like the building was built first and then somehow all this hills and stuff got on top of it. I want it to look like they carved their way into the mountain, built this on the inside. So we're going to need some sort of archway or something here going in at some point. We don't need it right now. But that is the overall effect that I'm kind of going for. Okay, so let's kind of start bringing this down. Okay, let's see. We want to grow down. Yeah, I think we want to enclose this thing off. Okay. So we're going to get everything all goofed up with the terrain and then go back in and fix it, right? Like we've been doing. I want this to grow more down than out. And then we'll come back in a little bit and we'll add the, you know, whatever the tunnel passageway thing is that goes into this temple. We'll add it, but not right this moment. Okay, now let's see here. So what kind of hole did we end up with in here? Yeah, I don't like this, see? Kind of want to fill this in, and we're gonna have to put some of the scenery rocks in here to fill this up because we can't grow the terrain any closer to the coaster car, but we could put the scenery rocks in there. Okay, I want to push this away just slightly here, see if we can get this thing back out of the ground. This I'm okay with. I'm okay with it being covered up on the floor. And right here, you know, I think I'll keep it kind of the way it looks right there, but now we got to fix all this stuff, right? So let's push our little gargoyles back. Okay, and we just want to do this in very small increments because we don't want to poke a hole on the other side. And sometimes the chisel tool works better for this than the push, but we'll try the push for now and see what we get. And I'm just using little mouse clicks. And anywhere where it pokes in like a little tiny bit, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, now I hope it didn't get all goofed up on the outside, but we'll find out in a moment. Okay. Now over here we don't have a lot of outside terrain to work with, so we got to be real careful on this side. And let's see, right there, and so those little last bits. We can kind of ignore. There's a little bit poking through up here, but it's really hardly noticeable, so we can let it go. Let it stay how it is. Now this is kind of cool, and I was just thinking, like, if this is all enclosed off, how the heck did they even get down in here? But they got the pyramid, okay? They went up and they went this way. And let's see. And eventually I'm gonna have to go in and turn the coaster tracks back on. Got to remember to do that at some point. Now let's push this back just a little bit, but not much. Okay, I kind of like that. And it didn't get too screwy up here, but I do want to pull this down just a little bit, like in here, if we can. It's not going to let us because of the coaster car. Okay, but let's kind of get this closed off just a little bit. Okay, and then what we'll do, now right here I also want to bring it around a little bit tighter. Okay, let's see. Come on. Come on. There we go. All right, now we got to go inside and see if it did anything that we really don't like. Okay, so we got a little bit right there. We're going to use the chisel this time with a small brush, like 4. Chisel does not seem to take away as much at a time as the push. Yeah. All right, and the rest of that, you know what, we'll leave, and we'll just do a little chisel right here. And that'll be okay. Whoa. And now what I want to do is, you know, I kind of want to turn this into like another little mountain area. So let's go ahead and get our pole, and let's make the brush size a little bigger, intensity a little higher. Okay, and let's just start lifting the terrain up here. Okay, and I don't think it'll leak back inside anymore. But you never know sometimes. It gets a little crazy. Okay, and then right here, let's kind of build a stone, like an actual stone arch or something. Whoa, I missed. Shoot. Now they're upside down when they come through this, so. And again, I wish so much that we could at least terraform outside the grid just a little bit, because then I could smooth out these little transitions and things. But you know what? If it was a park and they just built all this thing out of, you know, materials, then it could still work. So let's see. And what would also be cool is when they come out of here, if they can't see this, you know, so if you've never been on the ride before, you don't know what happens once you fall through here. You just don't know. So we'll go ahead and do this. We'll lift all this up. And you know, we kind of want this to stay open a little bit so that people on the path, although the path needs to come out this way more for that to work, but we want people on the path to like see them fall down in here. Ah, okay. You want that. That's always fun. But we don't want them to know what else they do. Okay, so we're going to cover the rest of this up pretty good. Okay, now let's get our roughen tool. Okay, let's roughen in here a little bit, and then let's chisel. Let's chisel this away just a tiny bit so that the people on the path can see them come falling through here, right? So they see that. That'd be kind of cool. What's that little nub doing? Roughen. Let's go roughen over here some. Okay, and we'll let it go down in here a little bit. That's a totally different area of the park. Okay, this is looking cool. This is now a hidden temple. And when we finally get the little details done on the coaster station, I mean, this is going to be great. Okay, now right here, let's see, what do we want to do? I think we'll just kind of leave that open. You know, we'll leave it a little bit open like that. Let's do a little bit more terraforming out here, roughen this up. And then we'll fly in one more time. What the heck happened over here? We'll fly in one more time to the temple area. And we'll just see if anything in here got goofed up with all that terraforming. Okay, yeah, so it poked down a little bit again. All right, here we go again. Chisel. See if we can get it flat. There we go. That's a smaller brush. Seems awfully bright in here for the fact that it's mostly enclosed, right? And again, if it pokes through just a little tiny bit around the edges, I'm not going to worry about that. Not going to stress out. We're good along the floor. Okay. And okay, we'll do this a little bit. Chisel that away. Get out of our terrain tool. And let's see how it still looks from up top. I think it looks pretty good. Looks neat from over here. Yeah, this is going to be cool. Really happy with this. And let's go ahead. This keeps bothering me, so let's go ahead and fill this in. We'll make it part of this building here. We need the rocks. So let's go to nature and rocks. And let's just get, oh, we still got the small. Okay, we're just gonna fill this thing in. Blue arrow. Okay. Now, it certainly looks like someone's going to lose an arm on this thing, right? So can we move this out? How close to the... Oh, man, this is just way too close. It's going to clip, isn't it? Okay, let's try another way to do this. Another way to fill this in. We'll get out of that building. And let's get the... let's just get a 4-meter stone wall. Okay, now let's see. Are you kidding me? Okay, I was going to say, you could build this outside. Okay, now why did I do that, right? Because we can lift this up. And if we can get some rocks on this thing, we want our... Some of these rocks are very flat, and so we want to find the ones that are very flat. And we want to use those ones. Okay, like this rock. This rock's pretty flat. This one, yeah, this one's pretty flat too, right? And none of those other rocks are going to work. Okay, so now what do we got here? Is this kind of flat? This is the other small. What's he look like? Kind of round. Okay, now what we want to do is we want these things to be mostly flat, and we want to poke them as far as we can this way. Come on. Okay. Now we surely we got some room to move this guy. No. Okay, that's about as good as that gets. This one's not sticking out as far as the other two, so it's kind of fine where it is. And this one, can we... Now this one, I think if we turn it this way, and then turn it this way, actually ends up pretty flat. All right, So now what happens if we take our mouse and we select these rocks and we duplicate, oh, let's just say we spun it around. Why would that matter? Why would that make a difference? Okay, try again. Okay, now if we get out of here and we take the whole building, let's just see if we can do this. See what we get. Okay, so why? Okay, but see that was actually a little bit better. Yeah, okay. And does it not let us just join the, can we not like push and pull this any closer over here? You can't, huh? Okay. Okay, let's just grab some more rocks. That's why, is because it's a little bit not using the world axes. That's why. That's the problem. So if we were to take this and now just like rotate it. Yeah, now we can rotate it almost the whole way. Let's see. Isn't this fun? Okay. So that actually, you know, that doesn't look too bad. So now what we'll do is we'll just take several of these. And this is way overkill, okay? We got way too many rocks in here. So once we get it filled in, we'll take some of them and we'll take them out, okay? All right. And let's lift up the whole thing and we'll get rid of the walls. Well, all but the center walls. We want to keep some of them. Okay, and then let's get in here. We'll just cover up that one, right? World axes. Okay, that's about as good as we can get that, and I'm gonna let it be, but I do want to get rid of some of these rocks that maybe we don't need. So I'm just gonna select a bunch of them on the outside. And if I delete them, did it create any holes? Sort of did, and we got that little hole in there. Let's see, what if we get rid of those two? Let's see. You know, the other thing we could do too, which might even be easier. Yeah, you know what? Okay, let's get out of the building. Okay, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just go over here and grab this thing. Nope. Let's just grab some individual trees then. We'll just take some tall trees. Edit. Yeah, give us this tree. We'll go ahead and put this like, oh man, this is such a pain in the neck to cover this thing. All right, that's not going to work either. Ah! All right. You know what? Forget it. That's what it's going to be. I don't care. It's hard to notice. I I could always move the coaster track over just a tiny bit, but yeah, we're just going to leave it like that. Okay, this episode's pretty long. What I'd like to do is I'd like to go on the Hidden Temple and just see what it kind of looks like now with all the things that we've done. So let's do that, and then we'll call the episode done. We'll come back in the next one and clean up that river where it kind of just has a hard stop off the map. Okay, so this is really cool. I like this. Now, I have watched this in the C cam before, and it is a little bit jerky, but, you know, I think it's good enough. All right, that looks pretty good to me. I don't know if you would call it realistic, but you definitely don't want to eat your french fries before you go on this thing. That's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one, and have yourself a good afternoon.